I don't think any significant damage has been done, but only because we haven't taken any countermeasures toward German businesses. Our only restriction in accordance with the presidential executive order and the government resolution which I signed was to restrict imports of certain foods from the countries that have imposed sanctions on Russia. It may have affected the interests of certain German entrepreneurs, but I don't think this is a huge problem. Currently, there's no damage whatsoever, but frankly, it will materialize sooner or later, and we're not interested in seeing that happen. We are interested in good trade relations and good investment projects. But, as I've already mentioned, if one person leaves, another always takes his place. I can tell you the following. You are very well versed in economic relations yourself, having worked in Hong Kong, and you are familiar with how the Asia-Pacific region works. Of course, businesses will keep these sanctions in mind, but eventually pragmatic considerations and the opportunity to make money will prevail, and the niches that become vacant after European manufacturers leave will be filled by other suppliers. I'd like to reiterate that we don't want to see this happen, and the situation can still be turned around. But to do so, we need to have both feet planted firmly on the ground and to act reasonably.
In the past, I think Chancellor Merkel has been in your corner, if I can use that phrase. And we've seen very strong integration of the Western European and US economies over the last 2 decades. Has what has happened now damaged personal relationships between the President and Chancellor Merkel and you, Prime Minister, with Chancellor Merkel?
I'm on good terms with everyone. And I know that President Putin also has good relationships with everyone. But it's not an issue of personal relationships. We may call each other every other day or send each other cards on New Year's. These are real economic issues, and they present real political issues as well. I'd like to repeat that so far nothing dramatic has happened to our economy or the EU economy, to say nothing of the US economy, which doesn't depend in any way on the Russian economy. However, it is obvious that if these trends persist, the negative potential will start growing. At present, our trade is about $400 billion, a figure I've already mentioned. Germany is our second biggest trade partner after China, but some time ago it was first. China is developing rapidly and has already become the world's largest economy in terms of purchasing power parity. At any rate, as you know, on October 8th, China was recognized as such, but naturally the US economy is much bigger overall for the time being. So if this potential starts to accumulate, our relations will suffer. We'd like to avoid this very much. I hope Europeans don't want this either. In any event, I'm absolutely certain that European businesses are categorically against this because it's contrary to their interests. I've also talked with US business representatives. Naturally, they also say that they are opposed. They whisper, well, you know that this is the decision of the government and we have to comply, but we consider it completely destructive.